Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt.
Hi, it's 1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox, and today I'm going to be bringing you some fun piracy clips. These are all no cargo free to goes, so I'm just putting this up because the person I'm going to have the salty argument with is going to claim that I'm a ganker repeatedly, which is hilarious considering how many people encounter me in game and then don't get killed by me. If I was a ganker, I would be jumping them en masse with lots of people ganking people. But he can't tell the difference because, you know, he doesn't know me. One moment.
The game's afoot! I'll stop the lot!
And the other thing, it doesn't matter if it's no cargo free to go. A lot of piracy is the thrill of the chase, the fun of, like, the interaction. You don't know at the point you're interdicting them whether they're going to have cargo or not cargo. There's all that possibility. It's like Schrodinger's cat, you know. Until you observe it, you don't know if that cargo holds cargo in it or not. The possibilities are endless. It could have anything in there. Let's go and see. And that's the fun of piracy, and that's the fun of playing in open, is the fact you interact with other commanders. It is the only other mode, well, the only mode that lets you interact with other commanders that you don't know and you don't give permission to join your private group. So you have solo, which is the ultimate I don't want to play with anyone mode, and is very, of course, totally PvE. Then you have private group, which is all PvE private groups. I don't know a single PvP private group. They're all PvE private groups. And then you have open, where PvP can happen and anything can happen because it's open and anything can happen. And some people don't like that.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So today I'm bringing you the continued conversation between me and the leader of the group DGEO, Demented Argo, which is the name of a psychobilly band from the 80s that nobody's heard of really because they were just kind of mediocre and a bit rubbish. But I don't know German music tastes, so what's big in Germany is big in Germany. Let's face it, the country loves David Hasselhoff, so they have different tastes. So I didn't think psychobilly was a thing that people were interested in, but each to their own. And that's the point of today's video, is I'm very much each to their own. Open environment, you can do what you want. If he wants to block everyone that attacks him and I don't mind him blocking everyone that attacks him. I don't mind him doing whatever the hell he wants. But to berate people for doing stuff that they're justified in doing or allowed to do is just a bit weird. Like here, where he's having a go at Indica, saying he's blocking him because he's using a hotess, which is apparently, he claims, cheating and unfair. I mean, I take it he's never encountered Walking Dead, because Walking Dead destroys everybody on controller. So, is he unfair because of his key bindings and the way he plays claw-wise? But maybe that's totally unfair, maybe that's cheating. Like, cheating is what's defined by the developers as cheating. And then there's stuff that's, like, rude. Like, for example, combat logging is cheating. He should know this, his group's rife with combat loggers. Then you move down in scale, and then you've got things like use of Primo. It's kind of rude, but it's kind of in the game, so if you know someone uses Primo, you just pretty much avoid them in PvP because they use a lot of Primo, and it turns the game into a material grind rather than just fun test of skill. And so there's varying degrees of what's rude behavior, what's accepted with and without the community. The online open community, part of the online open community is the fact there's the potential for PvP and there are gankers. Now, I played for the first 3 years of this game as a pacifist or passive-aggressive space trucker, and I had no interest in PvP. Did I block people who attacked me? Hell no. I usually added them as a friend, had a chat with them, they gave me advice on my ship, and I built stronger and stronger ships. That was the fun. We're breaking up the monotony of me doing missions, running stuff, trading, etc. I never minded gankers, and if you don't give them salt, they generally don't mind you. These aren't the sort of people that are hunting you down day after day after day. They generally, they're like kittens. Roll a ball of yarn in front of them, they'll go for that instead. But Commander Psychobilly is of the belief that there should be no PvP, or at least he's got some odd opinions. So I eventually do tell him in this conversation that I will let YouTube judge, so I'm letting you judge. I'm going to bring you basically the whole of the conversation to you, and well, I'm bringing the whole of the conversation to you from the point that he unblocked me and sent me a message in German, which I put in my community feed the other day, because it's some attack about me having low self-esteem and some such. It's just a wall of abusive text in German, and I think he was upset that I made a YouTube video about his comments, and I don't think he understands my point of view. My point of view is just you're free to do whatever you want in open. You can block people all you like, I don't care, but you can't go around telling people they can't PvP in open, because they can, and the developers allow it. And also the whole hypocrisy thing with the fact that he's willing to throw third parties in to attack me, threaten me with the likes of Uwu and Ant, whoever they are, but he's not willing to fight himself. That to me is a bit hypocritical, because if you're expecting your opponent to, honorably battle people you send to fight them, you should be at least willing to, be open to attack yourself. It's a bit hypocritical, but he doesn't kind of understand that. He said he just wants to play PvE. I understand this fully. He just wants to cooperate, be nice to everyone, and play his nice way on his own, and screw everyone else who has any different opinion to him. And I'm aware of this attitude. This is the classic Care Bear mentality. It's my way or the highway. And my point is, I don't mind him blocking people. I don't mind him doing anything. He can do what the hell he likes in open. But so can we, and if we want to PvP, we can PvP. If he doesn't like it, he can block us. However, to go around en masse insulting people because they PvP, or to go around telling everyone that there's no PvP in open, is just wrong. The way the game's designed and developed is just incorrect information you're putting out there. You're bemoaning people for playing the game how it's intended to be played. You're calling every attack against you a gank, but you're doing power play and stuff like that while you're in open. So a lot of the times you're actually saying you're free to be attacked. So I think I steel-manned his argument pretty well in the coming clips. I went through, admittedly there's a few mistakes because I'm dyslexic and I do make some typos. But, he's fine if we attack his BGS now apparently, but he's going to block us and ignore us. Also there's a whole issue that because they don't really use their BGS, they actually fight for CQC Holdings, which is nothing really to do with him or his faction. It's just a group he was allied with, so it's not even his own minor faction. It's just one that's got a convenient permit lock system that you can hide and cower in, presumably. But I don't know why he's worried about that when his attitude is just to block everyone. But I think in the coming comments I steel-man his argument pretty well. He wants the game his way. He wants to play PvE only in open. And I think I understand his point pretty well. That's what he wants. He wants to play in PvE and complain about anyone that attacks him, anyone who, what he calls, nerves him, and he wants to block people, despite the fact it ruins instancing for a lot of people. He threatens PvP on people from third parties, but he's not willing to expose himself to PvP, so therefore he's a bit hypocritical. But as I said to him, I don't care. Open is open. Suck it up, buttercup. The open environment is open. You're free to do whatever you want. He is free to block me and go about his business doing his PvE thing. The thing is, but throwing loads of abuse at me because I play differently to him, that's kind of not acceptable. That's rude, and that has no purpose. Also, he should really make up his mind, because he calls me an egomaniac and says I have a big ego, but then I have low self-esteem. So, can you make up your mind and have some logic to your arguments? Because your arguments at this point are just basically, no, I'm right, do it my way, and that's it. That's your attitude. Everyone else is wrong, the developers are wrong, the game's built wrong, everyone's wrong, but you're right. And it's yeah. And then he moaned because I attacked him, but that was only after he threatened me with attack from a third party. I still love the complete and utter lack of understanding how much of a hypocrite that makes him look, that he's willing to send third parties after you to attack you, but won't accept combat directly. This is very bizarre. He expects you to be attacked by his allies, but he won't accept attack from you. very strange. And as you can see, as to his claims that I'm a ganker, if I was a ganker, would I really be sending no cargo free to go messages? No, I'd probably be killing everyone, which is something I don't do. He also brings up a load of stuff that's not relevant, which is usually what happens when someone has no way of like debating the point. Like I say, just personal insults, he throws them out there, you know, and it's like simple. It's a simple debate. You know, is there PvP in open? Yes. Do the developers allow people to attack other players? Yes. Is it a PvE only mode? No. I mean, the game in general is very much a PvE orientated game. BGS is PvE, Power Play is mostly PvE, but there is that small cherry on top, which is PvP, which a lot of people engage in. A lot of people don't like PvP. That is true. Do the majority of players who play this game dislike PvP? Maybe, but that's because a lot of them are solo only or private group players. You know, the ones that play in open tend to be people who accept that PvP can happen, or at least should be aware that PvP can happen. To go around telling people that they're wrong and stupid for like doing PvP in open and that PvP is not allowed is crazy. And he's saying that he doesn't have a big ego, that I have a big ego, which is odd because he was telling me I had no self-esteem earlier and now I've got a massive ego. Make your mind up, dude. Like, really, stay with some consistency. You know, and I'm like, he's the one that says to everyone, like, you know, my way or the highway. I'm saying, I don't care what you do, open is open, you're free to do anything. You can block everyone, I don't give monkeys. You know, but just accept that people can PvP. And shouting abuse at them because they do something you don't like is a you problem. It's got nothing to do with them. You know, they're just engaging in the game how it's made. You know, you might not like the way it was made. You might not like people engaging in people PvP. But they're allowed to in open because it's the open mode. PvP is part of that. So stomping around and saying, well, most people don't like PvP, irrelevant. I don't see what him playing 5 years has got to do with anything. He brings that up and I'm like, well, I've been playing since day one of the preview program, so what? It doesn't make any difference to the debate. The debate is simply like, can you PvP in open? And when I ask him that directly, he refuses to answer the question. So yeah, that's that simple. He just draws the line under it and just refuses to answer. So I asked him again and again and he refused to answer. Now, my advice to this guy is do what you want. You play the game however you want. If you want to block everyone that shoots at you in open, I have no problem with that. Like, it's your choice. It's your game, you play it however you want. But please stop sending abuse and calling people stupid if they engage in PvP in open. Because it is the only mode that allows PvP and people are free to PvP in open. And if you can't see how I'm sending third parties to attack people because you don't want anything to do with PvP, but you're willing to let third parties do your dirty work for you, makes you a hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you. It is a very simple concept. And yeah, also make your mind up whether I have a big ego or no self-esteem. It's kind of embarrassing you keep contradicting yourself. And please, if you're going to debate with somebody, at least come with an argument other than I'm right and I'm ending this. You won't even answer a question. I mean, really, this guy gets overly offended too easily, and if he's offended by this YouTube video, yeah, grow a thicker skin. If you're offended by the first YouTube video, grow a thicker skin. You're free to do what you want in open, I'm free to do what I want in open, and if I choose to hunt you down and shoot you, that's my choice, and if you want to block me, go ahead. But sending me messages calling me stupid and telling me I have no self-esteem because I dare to attack you is not going to affect anything other than make me want to shoot you more. So I think, to be honest, BGSing Diego could be a bit of fun, or at least murdering every member of Diego I see in open and collecting footage of all their combat logging. That could be fun because they are like a massive group with huge problem with combat logging. But it's no surprise when their leader advocates blocking everyone who ever dares to PvP them. No wonder he doesn't see combat logging as cheating. Anyway, that's all. Thank you very much for watching.